Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. Folks, this Diddy case simply continues to get more wounds constantly. It resembles stripping an onion, with the exception that each and every layer you reveal gets increasingly dark. Truly, it's a wild ride, beginning to end. Recall that claim. Lil Bar documented against Diddy, no doubt the one that had everybody's jaws dropping with its horrifying subtleties, and Elite Spears, well, clutch your caps cuz. It's taken a wild turn when you figured things couldn't get any more insane. The claim drops a sensation by referencing, in all honesty, Daphne Happiness as claimed sex laborer, and in the event that that name sounds recognizable, it's cuz she's not simply anyone she's 50 pennies exin, and the mother of his kid. You can hardly comprehend how 50 Cent responded to this sensation. I mean, we as a whole realize he's been riding Diddy's case like crazy, and he's in any event dealing with a narrative about him, however presently with his child mom being hauled in with a general mishmash, as Diddy's alleged worker things just went from 0 to 100 genuine fast, and we should be genuine regardless of whether they're not together any longer. She's as yet the mother of his child, so it's certainly hitting up close and personal, for 50 things are true. You getting chaotic, folks, yet we should jump into the subtleties this why 50 could do without Diddy. Such a lot of I accept this is a main justification for why sure this was that is cuz. That is what a 50 used to discuss constantly so as per records that got spilled to Fox News computerized. Lil Pol isn't keeping down with regards to his allegations against Diddy. Among the clothing rundown of horrible stuff he's tossing Diddy's direction, he's guaranteeing that the Terrible Kid Records Fat Cat was D. Directly up boasting about having an entire crew of ladies on a regularly scheduled finance, and obviously one of those ladies named in the suit is, as a matter of fact, Daphne Happiness now. Lil Pol's claiming that these ladies, including Delight, were getting paid a month-to-month expense to essentially be Diddy's sex laborers. Individuals are saying that this probably won't be fantastical in light of the fact that Diddy's been spotted following Happiness on Instagram, and there are even packs of them chilling together in Miami Oceanside simply last year. Yet Delight isn't having none of it. She's terminating back hard, taking to Instagram to establish the standard straight in a proclama. Seeing that she dropped, she directly up gets down on Lil Bar's claim as a lot of untruths and character depth, and she's not simply pausing for a moment or two and taking it. She's lawyering up and prepared to make a legitimate move against both Lil Pol and his lawyer. I'm profoundly wounded by the lies in Rodney Jones' claim that I am a 100% misleading and character dead. She said, I'm holding a lawyer to investigate all legitimate cures against both Rodney and his lawyer. And you realize 50C wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says you moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me. Yet I was occupied, so you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration. Now, here we are, little sex laborers, yet Happiness wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says you moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me, yet I was occupied, so you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration. Now, here we are, little sex laborers, yet Happiness wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says you moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me, yet I was occupied, so you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration. Now here we are, little sex laborers, yet Happiness wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says you moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me, yet I was occupied, so you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration. Now here we are, little sex laborers, yet Happiness wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says you moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me, yet I was occupied, so you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration. Now, here we are, little sex laborers, yet happiness wasn't about to pause for a minute and let things slide. No, he took to Twitter and dropped a bomb, posting a pic of Satisfaction and Diddy with a subtitle that BAS fundamentally called her out. He says, "You moved a pretty far in order to have one more child with me, yet I was occupied. So you moved back, and afterward, you began getting cash from sibling adoration." Now here we are, little sex laborers, yet happiness wasn't going to let that slide. She returned swinging on Instagram, saying, "Curtis James Jackson, everything is a joke to you. Until our security is compromised, which is occurring now, you're unleashing genuine devastation, craze, and mayhem into others' lives. How might you feel on the off chance that sire was the one in cuffs in vain? We moved to New York to offer you the chance to be a dad to your child, and you saw him 10 times out of the 2 years that we lived, one pretty far from you. I'm burnt out on maintaining and safeguarding." On the picture to our child that you have never heard, she would keep saying, "How about we put the genuine spotlight on your actual fiendish activities of our phrasing? And truly aim me, you are as of now not my oppressor, and my God will deal with you starting here on you have for all time harmed the last expectation I had for you as a dad, to safeguard our family with these last misleading cases made against me. You have broken our hearts for the last time. However, regardless of her sincere words, it's like no one's truly tuning in. Rather, individuals are hauling Daphne left and right, not getting her side of the story at every one of the one client said so she was battling for her kid to be with his dad. However, at that point, guarantees he phrased her what human would battle to have their youngster around AR. We should be genuinely another client. Says he phrased you yet. You moved you and your child to live one pretty far from him. No doubt whatever, and 50 Cent, well, he's not withdrawing either. His rep emerged with an assertion pummeling Daphne's charges as bogus and unmerited. As indicated by them, it's all a response to 50 looking for sole care of their child, sire. They're making obviously sire's security is their first concern, and they're not playing with regards to safeguarding him. The upsetting charges and the sworn pleadings, as of late recorded in a legal dispute connected with Daphne Delight, the mother of my 12-year-old kid, has expected me to make all vital legit. I made moves to safeguard my child, sire. The latest bogus and unmerited allegations by Daphne's Satisfaction are obviously in light of my choice to look for sole guardianship of my child. My child, sire, is my primary need, and keeping him in a protected climate is my main concentration. As of now, you realize this entire wreck is simply going to fuel 50 pennies fire, significantly more. I mean, he's most likely going to be much more started up than previously. However, before we plunge into Lil Bar's claim, what should begin with the most recent show encompassing Diddy's struck homes. So Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were looked through on Monday, since he is an objective of a government examination completed by a branch of Country Security Group that handles human TFK violations, as indicated by a senior government policing informed on the examination. The test is being driven by the U.S. lawyer for the southern region of New York and completed by the branch of Country Security Examinations Transnet INL Coordinated Wrongdoing Division. The authority told CNN the examination originates from a considerable number of similar charges set forth by a few common claims documented in New York against brushes with charges of say incorporating one recorded in December in government court that likewise included charges of TFK, as per a second policing acquaintance with Monday's pursuits. Combs has recently denied those charges. Vigorously equipped groups of HSI specialists look through Combs' homes, some riding in reinforced vehicles to some extent, since specialists accept Combs utilizes equipped confidential security at every one of his home. Specialists were approved to look for archives, telephones, CCs, and other electronic gadgets that hold information or recordings. HSI in New York said it executed policing as a component of a continuous examination in participation with nearby policing HSI units in Los Angeles and Miami, and would give additional data as it opens up. Now, individuals were saying that Diddy escaped his house, and when the specialists showed up, they didn't track down him. However, they confined his 2 children, Christian and Justin, which certain individuals find truly miserable that Diddy just left his kids hanging like that. One of the many consuming inquiries today is, where is he? Scene comes while these strikes are being completed at his home. I mean, his kids might have been in serious peril, since, in such a case, that you have a lot of insight into country security. They don't play. I mean, they appear there with their weapons and tanks. It's extremely scary, and they will assault on the off chance that they feel there's a smidgen of danger. so people were justifiably stunned that Diddy would leave his children possibly at risk like that. There were even murmurs that he streamed off to some confidential island with specialist, hot, on his tail, yet it turns out he wasn't on that fly at all. As a matter of fact, he was spotted pacing outside the Miami air terminal. I suppose you can't help thinking about what will occur next, Diddy. I know that certain individuals think he was attempting to lose them by concocting a subtle arrangement to get out of town without a follow. The next day, Diddy's lawyer made an assertion criticizing the strike yesterday. There was ridiculous abuse at the military level. Powerless court orders were executed at Mr. Combs' homes. There is not a remotely good reason for the inordinate demonstration of power and antagonism shown by the creators or how his youngsters and representatives were dealt with. Mr. Combs was rarely kept, yet he addressed and helped out specialists in spite of media hypotheses. Neither Mr. Combs nor any of his relatives have been captured, nor has their capacity to travel been limited in any capacity. Aaron Dyer said this phenomenal snare, matched with a high-level, composed media presence, prompts an untimely race to judgment of Mr. Combs and is just a witch chase. In view of the meritless allegations made in common claims, there has been no finding of criminal or common obligation with any of these charges. Mr. Combs is honest and will keep on battling each and every day to demonstrate his innocence. Currently, how about we returning again to Lil Pol's claim among the clothing rundown of allegations is Diddy purportedly solid furnishing Jones into organizing experiences with SCX laborers and forcing him into taking part in some truly undesirable room exercises with these laborers as well. As with others, and on the off chance that that is sufficiently not to make your jaw hit the floor. Diddy, as far as anyone knows, presented spiked beverages to clueless visitors at his stylish gatherings. As per the claim, there are even screen captures apparently showing social affairs at Diddy's digs that included underage young ladies and subscribe She Spice for more videos.